so let's go ahead and get started, my math party people. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and just keep this right here for a moment because this is the one and only formula we're using today. So if you want to take a quick screenshot, please do. I am as relaxed as I can possibly be today because I love this topic, because once you guys get this down, you're going to realize how many problems you've had that you could have used this technique in, and you'll be like, wow, I don't think I'm going to freeze up on this problem anymore. And once we have that hope going, it's all about practice. So here, calculating mean. So mean or average, has anybody ever seen this formula or this idea before where we say, hey, to calculate the average, what we do is we add up all the numbers and then we divide by the number of numbers. Who here remembers that, at least to some extent? Right? Right, pretty recognizable. Whether you're confident with it, that's not my question. That's not my question. I know why we're here. We're here to learn. But my question was, do we recognize this at the very least? That's it. That's right, Shai? Yeah. All right, good. I'm glad that you guys recognize it. So please go ahead, write this down, because today's key, again, is going to be using the formula backwards. Using this formula backwards is going to be the main, and I mean main idea today. We are going to heavily review going forward because, again, how can you learn how to drive backwards or do something backwards if you don't know it forward to a T? And that's what we're going to work on. So write that down again. The mean or average, when we're calculating mean or average, it's the sum of those numbers. So adding up all the numbers, and you divide by the number of numbers. Before we continue, just want to take a quick moment to thank you for watching this video. And all I ask is that you please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That way more people just like you can see these videos. But on top of that, if you're looking for more ways to practice the right way and raise your score with guidance without stressing, then I really wholly 100% recommend my ASVAB All-Access Program. The program, long story short, helps you watch, practice, and master every topic, from the word knowledge to paragraph comprehension, arithmetic reasoning, math knowledge, general science. It's there and it's designed to help you succeed with practicing the right way. So with that said, check out the link in the description to see how it all works, because you're gonna have ways to learn in every way that you prefer. And you get my guidance and my support all the way until you pass. So don't hesitate, stop feeling nervous and being anxious and letting yourself feel that way when there's a solution waiting right here for you. Check out the link in the description, that way you see how it works, and then reach out to me if you have any questions about it. Let's get back to raising our scores. So, I'm going to explain mean in a different way, because when you look at what we have there in green, it's pretty robotic, right? That sounds like it's coming right out of a math textbook. I'm going to make sure to explain this in English, okay? I'm going to make sure to explain this in English. Now, the last thing I want you to write down here is in red, right over here. So fill in what you know to find out what you don't. Because here's the thing, everybody. Typically, what we would be doing in problems like this is, hey, here's a list of numbers. Give us the average. And so typically, you're going to know what this is, and you're going to know how many numbers you have. And then the goal is to go ahead and find what the mean is. Typically, has anyone ever had a problem on the ASVAB or in a practice test where they don't give you all of the numbers? They'll give you all of them except for one, and they'll give you the average. They'll say, hey, this year, Dylan had an average, scored an average of 15 points a game in his basketball, in his senior year of basketball. He played 10 games, and here are 9 of the scores. We're not going to give you the 10th game. We're going to give you 9 of the scores and his average. What was the 10th game? Right? We've seen those problems before. Yeah, I know some of y'all have seen it for sure, right? And the thing is, that's a mean problem. That's an average problem. And I know you can recognize it because they say the word mean, they say the word average, but you might not know that you have to work backwards. And so that's what today's about. Today is about showing you how to work backwards, okay? That's what today's about. So, and then you panic and forget what to do. That's right, Lavina. Exactly. Brain cells can't take it, but I promise you after today's class, we're gonna feel pretty good about it. So there it is. Again, take your screenshot one more time for those of you that just joined. go ahead, take a picture. Sean, don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do it, man. I got you. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. Final pictures. And post that on christianmingle.com. So here we go. Guided warm-up. Let's go ahead and get into this, my party people. Here we go. Let's work forward, okay? So what is the mean or average of the following numbers? All right. So let's go ahead and write this out. Mean, again, the formula is going to be, everybody, what goes up top again? Help me out. The total of the numbers, so adding up the numbers, or the number of numbers. Which one is it? Right, the sum is going to be up top. That's right, exactly. The sum of the numbers. You can say sum of the values or numbers, whatever you want to say, but either way, summing up the numbers. That's right. And then in the denominator, we're going to have what again? What are we going to have the denominator here? Because up top we had the sum. What did we write down in that formula? Yeah, the number of numbers. Exactly. The number of numbers. All right. So let's go ahead and let's plug and chug. This formula is actually very, very, very straightforward. Super straightforward. Okay. Super straightforward. But before I continue, Jared, to answer your question, typically between 2 and 4 months, depending on what resource you use. I typically recommend my full program, but we'll talk about that later in class. I got you. So let's go ahead here. Let's get some work done. Let me go ahead and just copy and paste this right over here. That way we can just go ahead and put everything in. So here we go. Everybody in red, what we're going to do essentially is this. The sum of the values, is it true that we're going to say, hey, 19 plus 5 plus 9 plus 12 plus 10 plus 5, right? That's what we'll do. And 1 second. All right, there we go. So yeah, we'll go ahead and add them all up top. Sounds good. And then in the denominator, we're going to basically write what? What should we write in the denominator? A lot of us are saying 6, and that is correct. There are 6 numbers here again. The bottom is the number of numbers. We're dividing by the number of numbers, and we notice here that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 numbers. Sounds good. Boom. Write that down right there. And here's what we'll do up next. What we'll do up next is we'll simply go ahead and do exactly that. Add up these numbers, then divide by 6. We have the average. So let's go ahead and get that taken care of, and we'll be good to go. So here's a little tip that I would recommend using. A lot of us tend to want to add straightforward, basically going, hey, 19 plus 5, 24 plus 9, 33 plus 12, 45, 55, 60. We might tend to, again, take our time in that regard. If it helps you out, and I'm just going to present this idea as a little bit of mental math. If you've been to my mental math classes, if you've also used the math bootcamp and those mental math videos, you might have noticed that one thing I like to say is, hey, look, we can go ahead and just count 1 digit at a time. So for example, if you wanted to, you could start off with a 10, then you can add another 10 to get 20 and 30. So just pointing out 10, 20, 30. And then if you wanted to, from there, find any convenient situations. And it takes time to practice this. This is not something that you can just go on right away, but it does take practice. But if you do practice this, it does cut your calculation time by a pretty good margin. So you could really quickly say, hey, 10, 20, 30. Then from there, 40. Then from here, 49, 58, 60. You can jump around a little bit if you want to, because you will have a paper and pencil if you wanted to do that way. I'm not here to teach mental math today, but I am going to invite you to think about things in a different way if you want to. If you want to just add it straight up, hey, if that works for you, works for you. But I'll invite you to do it differently when you can. So when we add it all up, what I just found out is that we have 60. And then everybody 60 divided by 6. What's that going to be? Okay, that's going to be 10. Sounds good. So that 10 right there, that's going to be our average. That's our mean. So that's our answer. It's going to be 10. That's going to be 10. So, hey, welcome in. So with that, let me just go ahead and make sure I didn't miss any questions here. All right, so with that, oh, no, we only do that with the multiple choice questions, guys. No worries. With the multiple choice questions, we'll definitely suppress everybody's answers until time is up. But I want to go ahead and ask a very fair question. Who here knows what mean is or average is? What is it? Who can describe it? What is it? Not the formula. I don't want to hear you say the formula. I want you to tell me a definition. And don't Google this because I know who you are. Don't Google it. Don't Google it. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Jose. The middle number. No, the middle number is the median, right? The median's in the middle. No, mean is not median, right? They're different. Those are different ideas. And I don't want you to conflate the two by mistake. So who can give me, again, just a simple English explanation, like just layman's terms. This is one thing I really want to point out about how math is taught. A lot of us know how to remember formulas. We may even know what to plug in for the formulas, but a lot of us really don't know what these formulas actually mean. And what I want to do really quickly, this is going to take no more than 3 minutes. I really want to really express the importance of knowing why a formula works, and 2, what this one specifically means. So everybody, true or false? When you understand something, it's easier to remember it. True or false? When you understand something, it's easier to remember. All right, it's a fair statement to make, right? Fair statement to make. When you understand something, it's a lot easier to remember it. So allow me to go ahead and show you really what this all means. Has anybody here ever heard of the term center of gravity? Like someone's center of gravity. And if you don't know what center of gravity means, another phrase or term that I would be able to use would be the balance point. All right, the balance point. That's something that I would also say, the balance point. Has anybody ever seen a scale where you have one side and the other side, and if you put more weight on one side, it kind of tips over. You put more weight on this side, this tips over. But if they have the same weight, it's even, right? You guys know that? You guys know what I'm talking about there? Sounds good. That's the example we'll go with then. The mean or the average of a set of numbers is that balance point. That number where all the numbers on the left and all the numbers on the right balance out perfectly. That's what average or mean is. That's really what it is. Now, let me go ahead and draw an explanation for you. Everybody, what was the answer that we got? What was the mean that we got here? Right on, Anderson. Yeah, the average that we got here was 10. We see this right here. We got the answer, and it was 10. For the person that was asking how we got the 60, remember that what we did was we added up all of the numbers. We added all of these up. That's how we got the 60. So allow me to do this, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and draw the mean, which is 10, right over here. But before I do that, I'm going to take which color here? Purple. And I'm going to go ahead and just draw a triangle here. And from there, I'm going to go ahead and draw a line. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of just leave it like that. I'm going to leave it like that. So everyone, we said the mean was 10. Sounds good. That's 10 right there. Let's go ahead and write all of the numbers on the left and the right of 10. I'm really going to make sure you know why this makes sense. So everybody, 19, where does 19 belong? Is 19 going to be to the right or to the left of that 10? 19, is that going to be to the right or left? If I'm drawing it on a balance scale, right? It should be on the right side because it's more than it. So what I'm going to do is, again, anything more than that 10, I'm going to put it on the right. Anything less than 10, I'm going to put it on the left. So watch this. 19, I'm going to put 19 over here. That 5, where does that 5 belong? Go ahead. Okay, that's going to be on the left side. Sounds good. Then we have 9. Should 9 be on the right or left? Right, that should be on the left. That should be on the left because it's less than 10. Okay, 12, that's going to be on the right side, and I'll fill in the rest here. The 10 is exactly 10, so I'm just going to put that right there in the middle. Don't have to worry about it. And that 5, I'll put that right there. Let me show you again what mean really is. Lean in close. Go ahead and put your pencil down for a moment. Again, I really am keen to make sure you understand why. Everybody, how far away from 10 is 5? How many numbers away is it? Right, it's 5 numbers away. 5, if you add 5, you get to 10. Okay, cool. So let me just go ahead and write that right over there. So I'm going to say 5 away. Okay. Then let's go ahead and do the 9. Everybody, how far is 9 away from 10? Okay, that's 1 away, right? That's 1 away. All right, everybody, what about that 5 over there? How far is that 5 away from 10? Again, it's going to be 5. We just said that for the first one, so why would it be any different, right? It's going to be 5 away. Okay, cool. So everybody, let's add all of that up. How far away total are these numbers? 5 plus 5 plus 1. What's that going to be total? If we add that all up, yeah, that'll be 11. That'll be 11 on this side. Let me just go ahead and highlight that. That's a total weight, like the total weight of how far it is. It's 11 total numbers away. From all 3 of those numbers together, 11 numbers away. Let's go ahead and do that for the right side over here. So let's go ahead and check this out now. If we go ahead and do the same thing, everybody, how far is 19 from 10? It's 9 away. Sounds good. And how far is 12 away from 10? 2. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and highlight those. If we have 9 and 2, what's that total weight? How far is the 10 from the right side? Look at that. Look at that. So this is the point I'm trying to make. We have a scale here. Your mean is the number that if you find the mean, that number is perfectly balancing the left side and the right side of your set of numbers. That's what it is. It's basically going to be as far from the right and the left. It's right there in the middle saying, hey, I'm balancing this. That's what it's going to be. That's the definition of what mean is. It's the balance point of a set of numbers. You have all the numbers on the left of 10 adding up to being 11 numbers away. All of the numbers on the right side of 10, right over here, a total of 11 numbers away. That's the balance point. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'll write that down for you. No problem. So the mean, right over here, the mean is the balance point of a set of numbers. Right there. The mean is the balance point of a set of numbers. Okay, that's what it is. I'm going to go through it one more time. I got you. I'm going to go through it one more time, but then we are going to move forward here into more examples. Now, the reason I explain this is because for us to be able to learn how to work backwards, again, you have to understand the overall idea. If you understand the overall idea in terms of, hey, what is this really? Then we can learn to work backwards and learn how to do these crazy problems that they would expect you to get stuck on. But if you understand the why, you might be able to wiggle yourself out of it. So one more time here. All we did in this example, and we're going to do this a couple of more times, all we did here was we calculated the mean. Now, we may not know what mean actually is, but we know the formula. The formula is add up all the numbers and divide by the number of numbers. So again, the way that we got there was, hey, again, right here, sum the values, so add up the number of numbers, or add up the numbers and divide by how many numbers there are. So in red, if you follow this over here, we took the 19, the 5, the 9, the 12, the 10, the 5, and all we did was add them all up. And that's how we got the 60. So before I continue, yes or no, do we understand how we got the 60 here in adding up all of those values? Just want to make sure we got that down there. Excellent. Now, on the other hand, we have the number of numbers in the denominator. That's what we're dividing by. And since we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we had 6 numbers, and that's why there's a 6 in the denominator, because again, we're dividing by the number of numbers. And there we have it. We had 60 and 6, so 60 divided by 6, that gave us a mean of 10. No worries, V. I'm hoping that by the end of today's class, we're going to feel pretty good about it. So there we are. And then what I went on to further explain after the fact, after we got this 10 over here, what I went on to explain was the meaning of that 10. Like, what does that actually signify? Like, it's just, for a lot of us, it's just a number. But I want you to recognize the mean, again, as the balance point. This is the balance point. So I think a lot of us know what the word balance means, right? That it's the same on the right and the left sides. It's pretty balanced. There's not a difference between either side. It's balanced. So when we go over here and check this out, this little diagram that I drew over here was really all just to show what that balance looks like. So what I did was I wrote all of the numbers that were less than 10. The mean is 10 right here. We wrote all of the numbers to the left of 10 and all of the numbers to the right or greater than 10. And what we saw was when you look at what that total difference is, like how many numbers away they are, 5 is 5 away from 10. 9 is really close to 10. It's just 1 away. Then we saw the 5 again, 5. We added it all up. We got 11. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 5 is 11. Now, when we check to see if the same was true for the right side, well, guess what? We look at this over here and we say, hey, we got the 19 and the 12. Those are the numbers that were bigger than 10. 19 is just 9 away. And the 12 was 2 away. What's 2 plus 9 again? Oh, we got 11. And that's what we were trying to show. That mean, that 10, was the balance point. Because if it's 11 away from this side, it'll be 11 away from the other side. It gives you an equal distance, again, from the left and the right sides. It's perfectly balanced. So for anybody out there, does that make a little more sense as to what mean actually is? If someone asks you, like a friend or a peer or someone who needs help in math, you can confidently tell them that, hey, look, mean is pretty much like the balance point of a set of numbers. It's what balances the numbers. That's it. So when you add up all the numbers and divide by the number of numbers, you're finding that number perfectly right there in between all the numbers that balances out. Notice how I didn't say middle. You do not want to say the word middle. You want to say the number that's between all of those numbers that balances them out. So let's go ahead and learn how to love this a little more, right? This is like, having a pet for 6-7 years and you introduce its first little brother or little sister, and that pet ain't happy. So let's go ahead and get used to this. That way we can start loving this a little more. So let's go ahead and get into this next one here. We're going to find the mean of the following set of numbers. So I want to give you guys a few moments here, about 2 minutes, to go ahead and use your formula, calculate this, and we'll move forward in the right way. Please don't reveal your answer. I will ask you to give your answer in due time. So let me give you 2 whole minutes here. Let me get my timer up right over there. And then there's my timer, and it is starting. So again, please don't reveal the answer. Please don't reveal the answer. And just like you're watching this video for free here on YouTube, I got more free materials for you, my ASVAB party people. We've got a free practice test that comes with video solutions so you can learn from every single mistake and identify those topics that you need to crush and work on. And on top of that, you can get a free class with me on Zoom once a week. And so that's all included in my free practice test with my free class included. Click that link in this video or in the description, sign up, keep learning for free, and keep raising your score. I'm proud of you. Let's keep working hard, and let's get back to the problem. So again, the mean is going to be adding up all the values and dividing by the number of numbers. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get that done. Here we go. Let's write these numbers out. So we are going to have 16, 12, 18. So it's going to be 8 total numbers, it looks like. Okay. So we have 16 plus 12 plus 18 plus 17 plus 16 plus 8 plus 7 plus 2. This probably happens to a lot of people where you draw a fraction and then realize you got to draw way more than you had. It happens, right? And then everybody, how many numbers do we have? What are the number of numbers? Right, that's going to be 8. Nice and easy. Moving forward, nice and easy there. Great. So again, when we take a look at this, it's really going to be up to you and your preferred method of calculation. You know, if you need to go ahead and write all this down and add it up straight up, I really do recommend that you work on your mental math, because something like that might take you 30, 45 seconds. Like, these numbers are fairly simple, right? They're fairly small numbers, but there's a lot of them. So I'm going to ask the question here, and I'm hoping to convince somebody who doesn't know about that lifestyle. Who here is able to use mental math and get this done without putting their pencil to paper? Okay, and for those of you that can, just take a look at this and go, okay, 16 plus 12, 28 plus 18. Okay, that's gonna be 28, then 38, then 46, then 56, then 63, 73, 79. Then from there, we got 87, then we got 94, then we got 96. Like, who's able to literally look at it and literally add it just like that? Because those of you that can, absolutely not. And I'm willing to bet that we haven't gone into that mental math portion of the course and lived in there. You know, we got to go in that math course and we got to live in there, especially if you're in the program. So I am going to make it very clear here. You do not want to waste time on the ASVAB. That's obvious. But what wasting time looks like is when you're practicing, choosing to use methods that really intuitively take more time. For example, it takes time to literally write all this out. It takes time to go like this. It takes time to do that, because literally what you're doing the whole time is just adding all of the ones up, which is already what you're doing in your head, but I want to teach you how to do this in your head, okay? So make sure to check out the mental math video on YouTube. And again, if you're in the math bootcamp, section number 2, that is mental math and calculating. Get in there and work on your 4 operations. So with that said, math party people, let's go and get into it here. When we added everything up, we should have gotten 96. We should have gotten 96. So once we're done adding up, we get 96, and 96 divided by 8, that's going to be 12. Good job, guys. So that'll be 12 right over there. And that 12, again, is the balance point of the set of numbers. If we were to list all of these numbers out, all of the numbers that are less and greater than 12, we'll see that they're the same distance away. Okay? Hey, right on. That was correct. 96 was the sum, but then you had to make sure you divided by 8 to get that 12. Let's go ahead and try another one here, my math party people. Up next. Or whoops, exactly. Oh, actually, we're diving right in. We are diving right into working backwards now, and this I'm excited about. So if you weren't here at the beginning of class, please feel free to take that picture right over there. Take that picture. I am going to make a silly face, but when you least expect it. And the silly face is just my regular face. So take a screenshot. I'll give you 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Gideon, you got to make sure you practice your division skills. And again, that's what the Math Bootcamp is for. That way you can work on those hard skills. That way we can make sure that timing is not an issue. So again, I'll talk about the Math Bootcamp probably around 7:15, 7:30, where I'll just really show you where to go to work on those skills. That's right, Urani, that's right. That's right. This is one of those problems. So here we go. And actually, this is going to be, yes, this is exactly what I was trying to remind myself earlier of. Everybody, quick question. Let me just, quick question. Let me just take it back to solving equations for a quick moment, because this is going to be way too important for what we're doing today. Let's say we had an equation like x divided by 5 equals 10. Everybody, how would we get x by itself? How would we solve this equation? Can someone remind me? how we would solve this equation? Right. I love how someone generally said, we do the opposite to both sides, right? And then the majority of us said multiply 5 on both sides. So I just want to remind everybody about solving equations. When it comes to solving equations, really what solving equations is about is working backwards, right? It's really just about working backwards. So when we take a look at this equation over here, we might say that, okay, we got x divided by 5 and that equals 10. The way that you get rid of that 5, you do the opposite of dividing by 5. And so what you'll see, my math party people, is this. To solve this, you'll multiply by 5 on both sides, because that's what's going to allow you to say, hey, goodbye to the 5. Everybody, yes or no? Do you understand the idea of working backwards or opposite operation? There we saw that we were dividing by 5. So to get the x by itself, we multiplied by 5 on both sides. Again, this is one of those fundamental ideas when it comes to solving equations. This is something that we should know, and if you didn't, that's fine. Let's just make sure that we have that down now. Yeah, don't worry about the numbers, Henderson, because the idea is about the process, not about the numbers. The numbers can change, ideas don't. So with that, boom, that'll give us x equals 50. And then we'll be done. That's it. That's it, right? All I'm just trying to say is we're going to have to work backwards. At some point, solving equations is all about working backwards. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and get into this here. No, not necessary. Not necessary. So let's go and get into it here, everybody. Everybody, the following set of numbers is a mean of 10. What is the missing number? Okay, sounds good. So everybody, true or false? We're looking to find the mean. True or false? False. False, false, false. Again, we got to make sure we know how to read the question, right? Here it says, what is the missing number? The mean is given to us, everybody. So let's read this real quick. We are given a mean of 10. We're given a mean of 10. So, we got to make sure we use our eyes here, right? I don't want anybody here thinking that I'm going to do all the work for you. I'm going to ask these questions and I want to make sure that you're paying attention. Always read the question. The question is, what is the missing number? We're given the mean. We want to find the missing number. Everybody, do you understand? Case in point, in this problem, we are given the mean and we got to work backwards. We're given the mean and we gotta work backwards. Okay, great. Again, we're given the mean, we want to work backwards. Everyone, allow me to do you a favor here. I'm going to show you how to do this problem in 2 ways, okay? The first way is going to be with the scale that I showed you a couple of minutes ago. And then the second way is going to be the purely algebraic mathematical way, okay? I want to show you both ways because there's a lot of people here that love visualizing it, while there are a lot of other folks who like seeing the math worked out purely plain and simple. So I'm going to go ahead and cater to both of y'all today. I got a treat for both of y'all, but here's what I'm going to really suggest. If you prefer one way and you understand it one way, you got it down one way, do your best to understand it the other way as well. That way you have both of that understanding in there. And again, same goes for the other way. If you prefer the other way, learn how to do it the first way. So let's start off by first showing the first way, which is again using a scale. So everybody, what was the very simple explanation I gave if I said, hey, can you tell me what mean is? What was the simple explanation I gave? Let's see if you wrote it down. What was the very simple explanation that I gave you? The mean is like the blank, could be a phrase, but the mean is like the blank of a set of numbers. Yeah, the balance point, right? The mean is the balance point of a set of numbers. Let's just go ahead and remind ourselves, and trust me, I'm taking it slow for a reason. The mean is the balance point Let me make sure that doesn't look like an E. Balance point of the numbers. So let's show you what that looks like. So try number one, we're going to use that scale, and I'm going to go ahead and do that thing like I did last time. Going to draw that triangle right over there. We'll get that 10 right there in the middle. We'll go ahead and draw a straight line. And don't worry, I will make sure to cater to my OCD folks. And so then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and see, hey, what's the balance looking like? Where are we missing some balance? Because I promise you, if we're missing a number, there might be a misbalance. There definitely will be. And so once we realize what's going on with that balance, you can automatically tell what the number is going to be. Here's how we do it. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and write all the numbers that belong to the left of 10. Everybody, which of these numbers is less than 10? Write them all out for me. Which of these numbers is less than 10? Right, I hope we can all agree that on the left side over here, so I'm going to do a blue highlight over here. For all the numbers to the left, I think it's fair to say that we have the 2, the 5, and the 9. Is that fair to say? Let me zoom in a little bit. Is it fair to say that we have the 2, the 5, and the 9 that are to the left of the 10? Right? Okay, cool. So let's go and figure out what these balance points are looking like right now, everybody. Help me out. So what do we have here? So the 2, how far is 2 away from 10? 2 is 8 away from 10, right? How far is 5 from 10? Right, it's only 5. 5, 10 minus 5 is 5. And how far is 9 away from 10, everybody? 10 minus 9 is going to be 1. So let's go and add these up, everybody. Add these up. Help me out here. 1 plus 5 plus 8. What's that going to be total? 16. Okay, let's write that out. That's going to be a total of 16. That's going to be a total of 16 away. Sounds good. Let's go with the right side now. Everybody, can you list all the numbers that should be to the right of 10 or greater than 10? Help me out. Just the 22, right? Just the 22. So let's go and write that right there. Booyah. And so all we have on the right side is just going to be that 22. So everyone help me out. How far away is 22 from 10? 12, right? It's going to be 12. So allow me to show you this, everybody. That's the only number we have. That is the only number we have. And so we have a total of 12 away so far. Everybody, for this to be perfectly balanced, what number should it be? What number should it be? How far away should it be? Right, you're getting 14 is the answer. You're getting 14 is the answer, but it should be 16 away, right? So everybody pause for a moment, stop typing in the chat box. Stop typing in the chat box for a brief moment because a lot of you are getting confused because you're looking at the chat box. A lot of you are looking at the chat box and you're getting confused. A lot of people are getting it ahead of time and it's all good, but I do want to make sure that we understand where we're coming from here. So first of all, a set of facts that we should know. True or false? The mean is the balance point of a set of numbers. Right? And I want everybody to answer this, honestly. The mean is the balance point of a set of numbers. Okay, great. So let me just remind you, how did we get that 16 over there? We got the 16 because what we did was we saw that the 2, the 5, and the 9, again, all of them being on the left side of 10, again, the balance scale, right? All the numbers less than 10 on this side, all the numbers that are bigger than 10 on this side. So that's why the 2, 5, and 9 are on here on the left, and the 22 is on the right. So we looked at the left side first, and we just said, hey, yo, how far are these numbers away? How far away are these numbers? From 2 to 10, that's 8. From 5 to 10, that's 5. From 9 to 10, that's 1. So what was the total distance? What was the total weight? Well, 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 8 is 14. Pay attention to that. Oh, excuse me. You guys are absolutely right. Thank you guys. Appreciate the no problem. No problem. It should be 14. Thank you. Wow. I can't believe I just noticed that right there. Long day. So we have 14. Can we all agree on that there? That we have a total of 14 numbers away. Yeah, for those of you that are saying, yo, coach, again, I will go ahead and put a blindfold on. I'll walk the plank. I'll dive into the water on me. Probably going to have Coach Sheena edit that out. But yeah, so with that, nah, you're welcome, man. That's totally my fault. Totally my fault. I mess up every now and then too. So with that, are we good on how we get that 14? We added up 1 plus 5 plus 8. That is a total of 14. Right there. 1 plus 5 plus 8 gives us 14. So without me royally messing up, and this is why I hate making mistakes, because I just cost a couple of you guys 5 minutes of your time, I want to make sure that we take a look at this right side now. So if we take a look at all of the numbers that are on the right side, what we need to be certain of, remember that these two sides need to be the same. They have to be the same. Have to be the same. The reason is because this is, again, the balance point. All right, this is the balance point. So when we take a look at the right side, everybody, what we saw was, hey, we have 22 right over here. That number is what belongs on the right side right here. And everybody, the question was, how far away is 22 from 10? Everybody, how far away is 22 from 10? Right, it's 12 away. And that's how we got this 12 right over here. That's where that came from. So when you look at it, well, we have a 12 over here. We don't have the same number. We don't have the same number. So if we take a look, here's what we have to do to see a balance. If you look at the left side, you have 14 away. If you look at the right side, you have 12 away. We need to make sure we can get that 12 up to a 14. So everybody, we would need to have plus 2. We would need to have to add 2, correct? So what we would do is say this. Everybody, what's 10 plus 2? 12. And there's your answer. And there's your answer right there. 12 would be your answer. That number, when plugged into the set, will give you a mean of 10. That will be your balance point. That's what will work. And to prove the point, we're going to calculate the mean using that to show you. No, so 2 was the missing weight. So you need to be, you're 2 away from 10. So you need to add 2 to that 10. Boom, that's how you get to 12. Because if you have 12, yeah, you'll have that extra 2 that you need. You'll have that extra 2 that you need to create that 14. You'll have that there. It won't give you a decimal, actually. No, not the 22, from the mean, from the balance point, from that center, from that center. Yeah, so don't worry, guys. We're going to have plenty more examples, especially examples where I'm not royally messing up right in your face. So I got you. So with that, let's go ahead here. And again, we found that the answer was 12, but let me prove to you that the answer is correct by showing the mean. The missing weight, yeah, Brittany, was 2 away from 10. 2 away from 10 on the right side. So then we added that 2 to 10 to get 12. So don't worry, we're going to go through another example to, again, show you with different numbers, see the same process played out all over again. But here we go. So if we saw that missing number, if we took a guess that the missing number was 12, again, right over here, that's answer choice C. Let me show you how the mean will still be 10. So true or false, really quick before I continue. Everybody, the mean is 10, correct? The mean is 10. Sounds good. So let's go ahead and calculate the mean then. Here we go. So again, the mean or average, let me just make sure I write that down again. Mean and average are the same thing. Let's add everything up and divide by the number of numbers. So everybody, here we go. What's 22 plus 2? That's going to be 24. Then plus the 5 is 29. Then we'll add the 12, and then we'll add the 9. And then we'll divide by the number of numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And really quick, before we continue my math party people, I know you're enjoying this, and you can have thousands of problems just like this in our program. In our program, you have 4 main things to help you succeed and more. But mainly, in our course, you're gonna get access to recorded lessons, you're gonna get access to guided practice just like this, worksheets that you can print out and try or keep them online, and lastly, speed drills to raise your confidence. That way, when you take the test, there's no test anxiety. There's no pressure because you've been timed before, you know what to do, and that's the feeling that we want. And all of that's included in our program and more. So take a brief moment, click the link here in this video or in the description to learn about the program, and then reach out to us if you have any questions. Sign up now, let's get going, and let's get back to the problem. Okay, so there it is. Let's go ahead and do the math. Let's do the math. So if we do the math here, we'll have 22 plus 2, 24, 29, then 41, and then 50. So we have ourselves 50 at the top, and we're still dividing by the 5. Everybody, what's 50 divided by 5? 10. And that's our mean. So everybody, did we prove, even if you don't know how we got 12, even if you don't know how we got 12, do you see that 12 is the correct answer? Because when you plug in 12, the mean is true. The mean is 10. It tells you that the mean is 10. We plugged in 12 in there. Turns out it was good. Turns out it was correct. Yeah, you can definitely use the answers for sure. You can absolutely, it depends on what strategy you want to use. If you feel like you're faster at plugging that in, calculating the mean and being good, do it. Do it. If you know how to do it, do it. Take advantage of it. So, yeah, and no worries if you're still confused, because this is just an idea that I really want to make sure we get down from a point of understanding, okay? From understanding that mean is the center of balance. Now, what I'm going to do actually, because of the way that, yeah, Eliana, you definitely could. So from the way that this one went, I do want to make sure I do another one right here with you, guided with you, and then show the same technique. And then once we have that down, I'll show you the other technique for those of us that want to just go straight up pure math. All right. So let's get into the second problem here. And I want to give you the opportunity to try this out. So we have a missing number right over here, A. We got to figure out what it is. Tristan sounds good. I love hearing that. So let's go ahead and try this one out now. Let me give you the timer right over here. And again, if you want to just plug in the answers and see which one works to get the mean, sure, see if it works for you. If you want to go ahead and try the strategy out with the scale, try it out, see if it works. And then after I show you the third technique, again, going ahead and pure mathing that thing up, we'll see how it goes for you. Perfect. Good. Okay. Question here. What are we looking for? Again, just read the problem. What are we looking for? Are we looking for the mean? Are we looking for a missing number? Are we looking for the circumference of the sun? What are we looking for? Right, we're looking for the missing number, right? What is the missing number? Okay, now my question now, everybody, is this. What do they give you? What does the problem give you? Right, it gives you the mean, right? It gives you the mean. And everybody, what did I say the mean was again? What is the mean basically? What is a very, very short way of calling the mean? The balance point, exactly. So here, the average of 9, that's going to be the balance point. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw that balance point, and I'm going to say, hey, boom, that 9 right over here. That's the mean. Now I'm illustrating this now for you here, but later on, we're going to stop relying on these illustrations, and we're going to have to make sure we do this, with pure math here. So here's what we're going to do. Let's write down all the numbers that are to the left of that 9 or less than 9, and all of the numbers that are to the right of 9, and then we're good. So Let's try this out here. Which of these numbers should we write to the left of the 9? Right, that'll just be the 6. That'll just be the 6, everybody. The 6 is the only number that is below 9. Then we also have this 9 over here. We have that 9 over there. Those are the mean. Those are already balanced. So you can literally just write those right there. Those don't make a difference. Those 9s don't make a difference. They're chilling all together. Because again, 9 is not to the left or to the right. It's right there on the 9. So don't worry about those. Those are fine. Now, here's what happens next. Which numbers should we write to the right of 9? The 11 and the 17. The 11 and the 17, let's write those over here. 11 and 17. Okay, so all we have to do, once we draw this diagram, super quickly, you're going to try to draw that super quickly. All you're going to do is basically count how far away. So everybody, how far is 6 from 9? How far is 6 from 9? That's going to be 3. Exactly. That's going to be 3 away. So the total will be 3 away. Sounds good. So let's go ahead and go over here. Everybody, how far is 11 from 9? 11 is how far away? 11 is 2 away from 9. How far is 17? 17 is 8 away from 9 because 17 minus 9, that's going to be 8. 17 down to 10 is 7. Take away another 1, that's 8. So you can take away a total of 8. That's 8 away. So what's the total amount away, everybody? What's the total amount away? Yeah, it's 10 away. It's 10 total away. So what we're looking at, everybody, is this. Look, we have 3 away over here. We have 10 away over there. Everybody, if we need to make this balance, which again, we're dealing with mean, we have to make this balance. How much are we missing from which side? Yeah, we're missing 7, exactly, because if you compare, look, 3 away from this side, 10 away from that side, we're missing 7 on the left side, right? We're missing 7 on the left. So we're missing 7. So I'm going to write that over here. I'm going to write that over here. Again, when you compare those, we are missing 7 to keep the balance. So again, I really hope that once this technique makes sense, you'll be able to do this rapidly. Like once you have it down, you can speed up, but I don't want you to speed up until you understand what's truly happening. So if we're looking at it as the balance point, hey, we're missing 7. So here's all I'm going to do. You're going to start in the middle, the mean, excuse me. You're going to start with your mean, and you're going to go 7 away. But everybody, are you going to go 7 down, 7 up? Which direction are we going? From the mean, are we going to go 7 down? Which side needed the 7, everybody? Which side needed the 7? The left side or the right side of 9? Yeah, the left side needs that 7. And the left side, is that down from 9 or up from 9? If we go to the left, that's down. That's down. So we should be subtracting, because think of it like this. If we had 2, so think about this, look, 9, the mean, minus the 7, because again, you're going to the left, that's going to equal 2. So what if we had 2? Well, let's plug it in. If we had the 2 there, and we saw how far away it was, 2 to 9, that's 7 away. If we had that, everybody, would that make the balance work? 7 and 3, would that make 10? That would make a total of 10, and then it would be balanced. And then it would be balanced. But because we didn't have that 2 there previously, we had 10 to 3. We need 7 more on this side. That's how we know that we just have to subtract 7 to get there. That's how we knew. Now, what I'm going to do up next is I'm going to present the straightforward way mathematically. But what I want to ask everybody here is, yes or no, plain and simple. And again, be honest. Does this balance diagram make sense to you personally? Does that make sense to you personally? And again, totally fine to say no. Totally fine to say no. I am not a dictator. I'm not here to be like, hey, you're gonna learn my way. No, no, no. I'm about to show you a couple more techniques, man. I got you. I'm about to show you a couple more techniques. All right, sounds good. So we're gonna go ahead now, and I'm gonna not fly through, but I'm gonna guide you through the pure mathematical way. Okay. So let me go back to this previous problem here, the first problem that we did, and I'm going to show you how to do it again straight up mathematically. And let me actually take that out, and let me just give you a copy of it, nice and easy. And paste. Oops. There it is. And there we have that. Cool. So we have the same page being reloaded from there and there. Perfect. So let me just go ahead and show you with the formula. And if this makes sense to you, hey, great. Let's go ahead and take care of business here. Now, everybody, in this problem, what was the answer again? What answer did we circle again? Right, the answer here was 12. Don't forget it. There it is. Already circled, right? Already circled, that's 12. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead right there, and I'm just going to highlight the answer is 12, just so you all know that the answer is 12. So here's what we're going to do. Let's write our formula. Everybody, the formula again was what? Sum of the numbers and then what's in the denominator, everybody? What do we divide by? What do we divide by again? Yeah, we're going to divide by the number of numbers. That's right. The number of numbers. And that's going to equal the mean, right? That's going to equal your mean or your average. Okay, let's take care of business. Here's what we're going to do, everybody. Who here is used to the idea of having to plug values into a formula? Like distance equals rate times time, right? Y equals mx plus b, right? Yeah, we've plugged numbers into formulas before. Length times width, 2L plus 2W. We've been there, right? We've been there. This is no different. No different at all. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to fill in what I know. What do I know here? Well, I know the mean. Everybody, what is the mean that we're given again? In this problem, what are we given as the mean? The mean is 10, right? Okay, cool. The mean is 10. The mean is 10. So let me just write that out right there. Okay. Everybody, do we know what the number of numbers is? How many numbers we have? Do we know that? How many numbers are we dealing with? Let me zoom in for you. In this specific problem, this is the first one that we did. Now the second one, this is the first one that we did. How many numbers do you see listed there, including the X, including the missing number? How many numbers do we see? I can't believe we're still debating 6. It is 5. All right, it is 5. Let's go ahead and count together here, everybody. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Hey, no worries. Just want to make sure that we're good here. Right, it's 5 numbers. We have 5 numbers. Sounds good. So we'll go ahead and plug that in right over here. We got 5 numbers. And I'm just going to keep this up here. So I'm going to just write the sum of the numbers up there. Now, everybody, because we don't know what the missing number is, technically we don't know what the sum is yet. So I'm going to keep it right there listed as the sum. So everybody, really quick, how do we get rid of that 5? If we wanted to just have or know what the sum is equal to, how do we get rid of that 5 that's in the denominator? Hey, Sebastian, I'm going to get to that point soon for sure. Excuse me there. Ron, I know you know what I'm doing here. So I would love to take you guys back to the example that we had toward the beginning of class. That example that I showed you was this. As a quick reminder, before we started, anybody remember this? Oh, wow, look at that. It's the exact same numbers too. It's almost like I planned this. Wow, right? Let's take a look here. Let's just take a look. What did we say? If we had x divided by 5 equals 10, what we wanted to do to get rid of that division of 5, we multiplied by 5 on both sides, right? Solving equations, working backwards, right? Opposite operations. So, okay, boom, boom, multiply by 5 on both sides. And then we ended up getting whatever that top was at x, it was 50. Let me show you what we're doing over here. Let's do the same exact thing, everybody. If we're taking a look here, we can get rid of that 5 by multiplying by 5 on both sides. Take a look. Boom. Once we do that, we can say that the sum of the numbers is equal to 50, right? 10 times 5 is 50. We can say that the sum of the numbers is 50. Okay. So here's what we can do. Once we know that the sum of the numbers is 50, everybody, well, let's actually show the sum. Let's show the numbers being added up. Let's go ahead and do our thing here. Everybody, if we added all of these numbers up, we have x, right? We have x right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and write the x over here. But what else do we have? Everybody, let's add up what we have, everybody. Let's add up what we have. Help me out here. 22 plus 2 is 24. 24 plus 5 is 29. 29 plus 9, what's that going to be, everybody? What's 29 plus 9? 29 plus 9. So all these added up together, 22 plus 2 plus 5 plus 9. What's that going to be? Yeah, that's going to be 38. Before I continue, can everybody agree with me here? All I'm saying is adding these numbers up, the 22 plus the 2 plus the 5 plus the 9, that is equal to 38. Yes or no? Do you agree? Right? I think we can agree with that. I hope we can agree with that. We add those up. I'm going to do this here. Plus 2 plus 5 plus 9 equals 38. And I'm going to write that right over here. X plus 38. Everybody, is it true that if we add up all those numbers, the x with all those numbers that adds up to 38, altogether, it should be 50, right? It should be 50, right? Should be 50. Sounds good, right? It should be the sum, right? The sum should be 50. Okay. So what do we do to work backwards? Let's take away that 38 on both sides. Let's take away that 38 on both sides. Here we go. Minus 38. Minus 38, and that's going to give me x equals 12. And look at that. And there's our answer. And what was the answer that we got? Oh, 12. Boom. And so that's the second way. This is what I want you to evolve to. If you understand the scale and you like the scale, I want you to transition from the scale to setting it up purely mathematically, where you just set up your formula, you plug in what you have, solve the equation, and you're done. If you like solving equations, this would be very, very, very straightforward to you. But I am willing to bet that those of you that are really looking at this saying, wow, this is really, really, really nice. Well, because you understand the balance, this makes a lot more sense because you understand that, hey, essentially you're working backwards from the balance point, from the 10, from the mean to get to the missing number. We did the same thing. We found the missing number. We just used two different techniques. That is correct. Smalls, that is correct. Every missing number, this will work. So who prefers method number 1, which is the scale? Who prefers method number 2, which is the formula? Right on. Okay, so you can say that there's a little bit of a healthy balance between the scale and the formulaic version. My preference is always going to be the formulaic version, using the formula. That's always my preferred method. But that's only because I understand the formula and I know how to plug in, work backwards, get in, get out, do your thing. The scale is a great way to illustrate what it is and why it makes sense. But once you have that understanding, what do I always say? Once you understand, then speed it up. And this formula right here helps you speed it up. You've had it the whole time. It's just about working backwards now. So here's what we're going to do. what we're going to do now is we're going to go back again to practice number 2. And we're going to do the same thing, everybody. We have the answer. The answer is 2. And all I want you to do is prove that the answer is 2 right over here using the formula. So here it is. I copied it. I went ahead now. I'm going to erase all of this. I'm going to leave the answer right up there as 2. And we're going to go ahead and again, show that the answer is 2. So let's go ahead and grab that formula. Let me go ahead and just copy and paste it for you. Let me just copy and paste it for you. We know that the answer is going to be 2. We already know that. Now let's go ahead and use the formula, plug everything in, and work backwards to find out what that missing number is. So here we go. I'm going to plug everything in. Everybody, what was the mean that they gave us in this problem? What was the mean? Right, the mean was 9. There it is right there. There's our mean. Mean, average, it means the same thing. So there it is, it's 9. Everybody, how many numbers do we have? What are the number of numbers? What are the number of numbers? How many numbers did they give us? Right, they gave us 6. Sounds good, so you plug that in right there. So then up next, if you want to, you could go ahead and write out up here, you could write A plus whatever all this is equal to, because that's 20, 35, and that would be 52. So you could say A plus 52, absolutely. You could write that out right there, or you could simply go ahead and say sum. Either way, it means the same thing. Everybody, true or false? Either way, if I wrote sum, or if I wrote A plus 52, I'm pretty much just saying A plus whatever all those numbers add up to. I'm just trying to add them all up. I can't add the A in there just yet because I don't know what A is. But I do know that 11 plus 9 is 20. Plus 9 is 29. Plus 6 is 35. 35 plus 17. 35 plus 17 is the same thing as adding 10, then adding 7. So from 35, 45, 52. So we could absolutely do that. And so we could say, hey, again, we could write A plus 52, or we could just keep it as sum. Either way makes sense. Because no matter what, the next step is to get that sum by itself, which is by multiplying by 6 on both sides. Because again, you're dividing by 6, do the opposite to get rid of it. And so bam, that gets gone, goodbye. And we have ourselves sum equals 54, correct? Yes, cool. And then from there, remember that the sum was the same thing as saying A plus 52. And so if we just take one look at this, if we say that we got a number plus 52 to get 54, what does that number have to be? That number has to be 2, right? That number has to be 2. What plus 52 gets you 54? That's 2. Booyah, right there. A equals 2. And we go over here. Oh, man, look at that. That is, man. That is nice. That is nice. Gracie, you like this way better? Hey, right on. Right on. I know it may have been torture for some of you guys for me going through that balance part there. That serves 2 purposes. 1, an introduction to working backwards here. But number 2, you're going to have questions that aren't going to have you find the missing value. Some of these questions, and you guys tell me if you've heard this type of question before, where they say, hey, we have the first 7 test scores. The average of the first 7 test scores is 80%. If you take an 8th test and get a 90, what's your new average? That is a completely different type of question in the sense of they give you this set of numbers, they give you the average of that set, but then they modify the set by adding another number in. That type of question is very, very, very easy to do with your scale, with your scaling. Very easy to do. So I will teach that in the Math Bootcamp. You'll have that in there. That's going to be one of the next topics that I do in the Math Bootcamp after I plug in those 100 word problems that I promised you by the end of September. So with that said, man, how are we feeling about calculating mean backwards? Be honest. Give me your full opinion. How are we feeling? Do you feel like if you saw a problem like this on the ASVAB where they say, hey, what's the missing number if the mean is this? Do you feel like you could handle this now? Like, do you honestly, realistically feel like, yo, I might be able to handle this? Like if you had your notes for right now, because obviously right here, we're just still learning. Great. Right with practice, exactly. Sounds good. All right, so here we go. We're going to get into number 3 here. And after number 3, before I explain it, I am going to give you those of you who are here, who are not in the program and are looking for more ways to practice and raise your score, lower test anxiety, and really get that job that you want. I really, truly recommend my full program because you do get the classes, but you get all the materials as well to practice in between classes. And I have all these different activities that make it so that you can learn in your way. So whether it's watching and learning from recordings, whether it's doing, guided practice videos, watching me do practice problems, worksheets, doing speed drills where you're tested and timed, or if you just want to have my number and have the ability to text me whenever you need help with practice problems, I absolutely got your back. So with that said, yep, that is called the ASVAB All-Access Program. If you are in the program, feel free to say if you like it or not, if I suck as a teacher, or if I've helped you. Again, be honest, I'm not going to tell you the lie. So go ahead if you want to. Here is number 3. I want you guys to go ahead and try this one out. And so let me go ahead and get the timer up and put that up for you right there. And if you are in the program and you haven't had a chance to hit me up yet and have a conversation with me via text, reach out to me. I'm your coach and I'm here to help you out. And so, yep, Tyler, I love it. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and shut down the chat box for a brief moment. So go ahead and get your comments in there if you'd like to about the program. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link up with a discount code for tonight only for people who join my Monday classes. That way you can secure a nice little discount before the end of the day. It's already a really, really affordable program. But with that discount code, it does give you a huge, nice boost as well. So let me go ahead and shut down the chat. I appreciate you guys giving your honest feedback about the program. And here is the program link. And again, there's your coupon code. It's capital letters, Monday, all caps. And that code will give you $8 off the subscription every month, or it'll give you $50 off the full year, which is already, that's like a 20% discount off of the full year. It's more than a 20% discount. So there it is, up to tonight only. And lastly, for those of you who are already in the program with a subscription and you want to get the year, I am going to offer you a special discount to you guys only. I will honor the $50 discount for tonight, and I will take off your most recent payment for your subscription. So $50 plus your first month is what I'll discount if you want to upgrade to the full year. So again, the chat box is shut down. I see quite a few of you guys trying to type. Hold your questions until later. I got you. Oh, that's what that is. There we go. All right, looking at our final 10 seconds. I'm going to open up the chat. And again, if you have any questions at all, just hold it or private message me. I will answer them at the end of class. So the chat box is open, answers up. Go ahead. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. And then also tell me what technique you used. Did you use the scale or did you use the formula? So the mean is 13. So 9 would go on the left, right? 9 would go on the left because you have 13 and 9 is less than the 13. So yeah, for the scale, all the numbers that are less go on the left, more on the right. Okay, so let's go and get into it here, my party people. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's see how much better we're feeling about this. So I'm going to go ahead and use the formula for this. I'm going to use the formula for this and set it up the way that I want you to work up to, okay? I want you to work up to this way. So let me go ahead and close that timer out and let's get into it. Everybody, quick, what was the mean that they gave us? What was the mean that we were given? Right, we were given that mean as 13. Right there, mean of 13, boom. If you're taking your test, you know you're looking for a missing number and you have your mean, set your formula up and fill in what you know. Boom, 13. Everybody, how many numbers do we have? Right, we got 8. And so for now, I'm just going to write sum. That way I don't confuse myself until I need to, right? I'm just going to write sum. If you wanted to, what could you also write as the sum? It could have been B plus what, everybody? B plus what? B plus what? What would it have been? Not B equals, B plus. What would everything but B add up to? Are you guys agreeing on 88? Yeah, let's double check here. So this is why mental math is important. 18, 38, 47, 54, then 59, then that'd be 71, and then that would be 88. So that's correct. 88 would be correct. Olgina, Kingsley, again, none of that study group stuff. Last chance. So boom, that would be B plus 88. So with that said, cool. Let's go ahead and figure this out here. If I wanted to get rid of the 8, everybody, what would I do? Chat box got shut down, thanks to you guys. So what would we do here? Well, we would do, what I'm hoping some of y'all are typing out, is we would multiply by 8 on both sides. So when we do that, we'll get ourselves times 8 on the left, multiply by 8 on the right, and that's going to cancel out right there and there. So here we got to figure out, hey, what's 13 times 8, right? I'm going to open to the chat box. Please don't misuse my faith. So 13 times 8, that's going to go ahead. What would that be here? Boom, that would be 104, because 3 times 8, 24, carry the 2. 1 times 8 is 8, carry the 2 is 10. So that would give you 104. So your sum equals 104. But what was the sum again? Remember, the sum was the same thing as saying B plus 88, because you have your B, and if you add all the numbers up, the 18, the 20, the 9, the 7, the 5, the 12, the 17, if you add everything up, you have B and the extra 88. That's what you would have. And so, boom. So, man, that's probably the first time I've had to kick somebody out, but sorry, talk to me later. So with that, what we're going to go ahead and do is we have B plus 88. Everybody, how do we go ahead and figure out what B is? It's okay. I already removed that person from the Zoom room. So with that, yeah, we would subtract the 88 from both sides. Exactly. We subtract the 88 on both sides. So with that, booyah, boom, minus 88, minus 88. And what we have over here is, hey, it cancels out on that left side. And we have ourselves B equals 104 minus 88, which is what? It's not going to be 14. It's going to be backwards. It's going to be 16, just like I messed up earlier, right? So it'll be 16 here, and then we'll be good. So the answer would be 16. Boom. And that would be B right there. So I'm going to go ahead and just move this up just a little bit to make sure it fits all on the same page. Cool. So there it is. So if you'd like to take a picture of that, please feel free to do so. Feel free to do so. I got you. Feel free to do so. And I do want to take a quick moment to address why I do not have any tolerance for anybody asking about what state you live in, if you want to form a study group. The thing is, I'm sure you guys have seen scammers on Facebook, on YouTube, and all these other websites. I do my best to make sure that that stays to a minimum. I delete all those posts, but people are getting very creative in terms of scamming people out of their money. So what I don't do is I don't put myself as liable for other people's wrongdoing. Because if someone is in my Zoom room and they want to, reach out and meet up with people in person or do certain things, I can't be held liable because I was the medium from which that happened. This is my business. This is my company. This is my livelihood. And I'm not going to risk it because some people want to have a play date. Plain and simple. So I am going to be nice about everything, but we do also want to respect each other's privacy and safety. Long story short. So with that said, there we have it. So that was one way. Who here tried it with the scale? Okay, appreciate it, Tyree. Okay, so those of you that did it with the scale, did you still get 16 if you did it with the scale? Did you still get 16? Good. And the thing is, when you get good at the scale, you might not even have to draw the actual scale anymore. You'll just start with a 13 and you can literally just go, okay, I got 13. All right. So on the left, I'm going to have the 9, the 7, the 5, the 12. And then from the right side, I got the 18, the 20, and the 17. And then you can literally just go ahead and sum that up. So that's 4, 6, 8, 1. Add those up. 10, 9, 19. Here, 5, 7, 4. So cool. 5, 7, that's 12, plus 4 is 16. So you notice you have a difference of 3. Booyah. So you start at your mean, 13. And then you add 3 because you're missing 3 on the right side. And then you get 16. Look at how fast you could have done that with your scale. So I really just want to make sure that you see that both ways are effective. If you like the scale and you want to take it to the max, don't even draw the scale. Literally start with that mean and just count. Okay, 4, 5, 7, and 2. Boom. Add those up. Bam, 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 bam. Add that up. Okay, we're missing 3 on this side. Add 3. There's your answer. All done. But again, that's if you have that down to a crisp. Okay. And Jacob, I saw your request to go ahead and answer the question. Sorry, bud. I do want to make sure I get to the next one because we have a few more practice problems to go. I did wish we could get into those crazy word problems, but this is still more than enough. This is still more than enough today. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the next one here. We have another one. Let's go ahead. I'm going to give you another 2 minutes flat. And I'm going to start right away. I'll give you the solution. Timer's already started. Get going, my party people. Again, whether you like the scale or whether you like the formula, do your thing. And here is your regularly scheduled announcement, my party people. Remember, guys, I host a free class every single week and more classes beyond that. So make sure to check the group tutoring schedule so you know when the classes are, when you can expect to see me live so you can raise your score and get that job you want. So click there to see the schedule, and let's keep getting back to the YouTube video right over here. So here we go. The solution for this question, let's work it out here. And we'll do this one, and we will try to get one more in. And then again, we will wrap up class and look forward to tomorrow's class. So here, let's get it going. The mean of this set of numbers was 11, average value of 11, plug that in. Then from there, we have how many numbers? We just got to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 9 numbers. So from there, hey, let's go ahead and add that up. So we have the sum over 9 numbers. And let me just go ahead and move this over here to make it make more sense. Sweet. So once we're here, sounds good. Let's go ahead and multiply by 9 on both sides to get rid of that, to get that sum by itself. Booyah. And so now we have the sum is equal to 99. Okay, great. Now all we have to do is figure out what that sum is. So when we go over here, we got to use some mental math here. We got to do our thing. We got to work quickly here. So with mental math, if you want to go straight up and down, again, practice your mental math. 5 plus 18, 23, 25, 25 plus 19, that's going to be 44, 44 to 61, 66, 72, 82, and then 86. Cool. So we have 86. And again, when you work on your speed, you'll be able to do this with confidence. We still have that K from the beginning. So we have K plus 86 equals 99. And so when we take a look at that, everybody, what number does K have to be? What plus 86 gives you 99? Yeah, 13. And once you have that 13, you're good. You can subtract again, subtract the 86 from both sides. Boom, right there. And that's going to give you that 13. K equals 13. And that was the missing number. And that's how you get C as your answer, just like that. And so if you want to do it with the scale, I'll show you very quickly how to do it with the scale, and then we're moving on. So again, if you were looking at it with a scale, really just imagine the scale in your head, but you look at your average and your average was 11. So cool. I got my 11 right over here. And I'm literally just going to go with each number and just basically tell you what the difference is and whether it's going to be on the left or the right. So I'm going to go for it right here. So with the 11, I go with the 5. The 5, that's going to be 6 on the left. 18, 7 on the right. 2, 9 on the left. So I'm just going to do this. 19, 8 on the right, 17, 6 on the right, 5, 6 on the left, 16, 5 on the right, 4, 7 on the left. Cool. So once you have that, then you go ahead and add them all up. So if I add up the left side, that's going to give me 15, 21, 28. 28 on the left. Then if I add these up, that's going to be 15, 21, 26. So I'm missing 2 on the right side. So that's what I'll do. I'll simply do 11 plus 2, 13, done. So if you know the scale technique, you're faster. If you know the scale technique with mental math. If you know the scale technique with mental math, you are faster than writing down the formula, for sure. So with that, let's go ahead and get one more in here. I think it's, yeah, we definitely have time for one more here, 1 or 2 more. So let's go ahead and dive on into this one here, number 5. Let's go. Let's try it out. And so here, setting up the formula again, just go ahead, work quickly. Our formula says, hey, the average is 14. Sweet. So I'll go ahead and say that we got 14. Then from there, what's the sum? I don't know yet. I don't care. But it's going to be over the number of numbers, which is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So that's exactly what I'll write. So from here, cool. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll multiply both sides by 5. Yeah, Jasper, there's the formula's right here. Formula's right here. I got you. So boom, we go ahead and multiply both sides by 5. 14 times 5. Multiplying by 5 is the same thing as multiplying by 10, then dividing by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 14 times 10 is 140. Divide by 2, 70. So booyah, a little bit of mental math gives us that 70 right there. And so we see that our sum is 70. So we just have to figure out what all this mumbo jumbo is. We got y plus, what's this? 17 plus 12, 29, plus 14, 43, plus 12, 55. Cool. So we have ourselves y plus 55. That gives you that sum of 70. And so booyah, we're good. And now we just take away 55 from both sides. And we say, hey, partner, boom, minus 15. Minus, or not 15, 55, excuse me there. Minus 55 on both sides. And we're good. Booyah, right there. We get y equals 15. And that's how D is that correct answer. And then when we go with the scale, if we want to go do the scale technique, okay, not a problem at all. We just got to go ahead and make sure we know what the mean is. 14, and just write those differences. So 17, that's 3 on the right. 2 on the left, 0, and that's 2 on the left. So we got a total of 4 on the left, 3 on the right. So we need to add 1. We got to add 1 there. So that's going to be a missing number of 14 plus 1, and that's 15. Scales way faster, like I said, but there it is. And as always, my party people, thanks for watching. You can subscribe with that button right there, and you can also see a link to a video just like this one right up there. But most importantly, if you want the program and you want to raise your score the right way, every step of the way with my support, there's that link at the bottom left. Go ahead, click that link, watch the video on how the program works, subscribe, and raise your score.